So here's some more information about Starfield. Hope you enjoy.
In just 10 days, many of you will be able to play Starfield for the first time as early access begins. But do you
Nice.
know what else you're going to be able to do in just 10 days? Watch my Starfield review. As yes, I was fortunate enough to be given a review code for Starfield by Bethesda. And at
Well, we're probably gonna do that.
noon Eastern Time on August 31st, my review will go live, along with a ton of other reviews. So on one hand, get subscribed for a bunch of Starfield content, but in the 10-day countdown, there's still a lot to go over and cover. With all of these review codes going out, there have been a ton of Starfield leaks to drop over the past couple of days, but something even more interesting that's getting a bit overshadowed here is evidence of a paid mod-like system coming. Creation Club 2.0 is likely going to drop with Starfield, and if you're desperately craving more information, just tomorrow, we may actually start to get
Oh no, that is so bad. That is so bad. The biggest draw of the Bethesda games was the fact that, well, the game's not that great, but after a year or two, the community fixes the game through modding. But now that you need to pay for the mods, I mean, that's a little bit problematic, I would say.
some new stuff like a trailer or even gameplay impressions. But first, let's talk about the recent Starfield review situation. Starting Thursday of last week, Starfield review codes went out, and what appears to be hundreds of media members, YouTubers, and more got their hands on the game. There are a ton of people playing Starfield right now, and many of these people got access to the game a full 2 weeks before it actually comes out. This is phenomenal news for pretty much everyone. When those first Starfield videos begin dropping, you're going to get reviews from all types of different perspectives. And perhaps most importantly, you'll be able to hear from people who were able to spend hundreds of hours in this game. This marks a
True.
huge shift from Bethesda. Just a couple of years ago, they were giving review codes out just 1 day before release, but with Starfield, most reviewers are getting 2 weeks of unfettered access with the game, which is just generally a really good sign of what's to come with those reviews. Although, just be warned, if you are somebody who is looking to make
The point here is if a company gives review codes out early, then that means that it's confident in the product. If it has an embargo or something like that until, I don't know, a millisecond before the game launches, then you know that there's problems because the developers have absolutely no faith in their game.
a decision based off their reviews, try and be an informed consumer, not just pre-order blindly. Those reviews are only actually dropping 8 hours before the early access to the game does release. So if you do want to consume a bunch of different reviews before release, just note it's going to be pretty tight, especially with the game being over 100 gigabytes to download. Although, of course, one of the other byproducts of a ton of review codes going out is a
If you pre-order it, you can already download it or something like that, I think.
ton of leaks coming out. For obvious reasons, I can't comment or even really
Pre-ordering games, by the way, super stupid. You should probably never do that. That's how you get burnt.
talk too explicitly about what was leaked. I'm playing the game and I can't confirm what's real or what isn't real, but over the past week we've seen leaks ranging from posts sharing their thoughts and initial impressions of the game, which clearly breaks the embargo/NDA, to more extreme things like some actual in-game screenshots being posted online and even some claiming to share the endings of the game. And just note, in between now and the eventual
Interesting.
release of these reviews and Starfield, things are only going to get worse, so be incredibly careful. If you're somebody who wants to go into Starfield without getting spoiled, now is the time to start being cautious about what types of media you're consuming online or even what communities you're a member of. Because even beyond just some of the people actually posting leaks online, there's been a ton of posts from people kind of skirting around the embargo or NDA, not directly sharing details but trying to talk about Starfield on a high level. But as you can imagine, when it comes to some of the leaked details, Bethesda has not been a fan.
I mean, the NDA is like a very concrete and self-explanatory thing. If they're not getting clapped after sharing these things, if Bethesda thinks that they are breaking it, well, it is what it is. But a couple of those screenshots, where is it? I only want to read reviews on Starfield from people who don't finish. Oh, yeah, okay, that doesn't technically matter. But yeah, it's like, you maybe have an NDA, but there are ways to, talk around it without breaking it, and that's what a lot of people are obviously gonna do.
Bethesda has not been a fan of this. We saw Bethesda's director of PR condemn the leaks and media coverage of them on Twitter, and we even got to hear a bit from Pete Hines in a now viral response to one user criticizing Starfield's leaked main menu. But to me, one of the most interesting things to leak wasn't actually from the
Bruh, leaking the main menu, what a time to be alive. We already covered that. Absolute catastrophe.
game itself, but rather from the EULA of the game, and that is creation credits. This past week, the end user license agreement, aka that thing you accept when you launch a game, was just updated for Starfield. This was pointed out on Twitter because, you know, obviously most people aren't actually reading the end user license agreement, and it seems like there's one notable addition to this EULA, which was about virtual currency. The ZeniMax terms of service include terms and conditions applicable to virtual currency. As such term is defined in the ZeniMax terms of service, including terms that grant you a non-exclusive limited license for virtual currency. Such terms and conditions apply to the virtual currency, if any, licensed to you for use with the game. The creation credits associated with this game are virtual currency and are subject to such terms and conditions.
You know what that means? Battle Pass. You know what that means more? Microtransactions, baby. What, did you think Bethesda's not gonna put any of that shit into the game? Look at Fallout 76. Todd Howard said, oh, we're not gonna buy power. Guess what? 2 weeks later, they're selling power in the microtransaction shop. Oh, we're not gonna do this. Guess what? They do it again. Dude, this game, you will probably be able to buy levels and materials at some point. Not at the early beginnings of the game, but there is a risk that at some point you're literally blatantly going to be able to buy just the ending cutscene in this game. That's what this means, pretty much.
So now this is super interesting, because it isn't even the first time something like this has been hinted at for Starfield. In tons of interviews, Todd Howard has talked about wanting to create additional opportunities for mod authors to get paid, but far more notable, the ESRB rating for Starfield in the United States has a listing for in-game purchases coming with Starfield. In the past, we've also heard explicit rumors that Creation Club would be coming back to Skyrim at some point. So taking this all together, it definitely sounds like some kind of paid mod system that uses creation credits will be returning. Connecting the obvious dots here, it definitely sounds like this is going to be some kind of updated version of Creation Club, where basically mod authors could apply to participate in the program and then create mods for a more paid mod-like system that would be published for a price. And one of the interesting parts about this is creation credits seem to be a completely new thing. In the past, they were technically called Creation Club credits, which although, yes, that's just one word difference.
Look at that, baby! Look at that! Nice. Are you enjoying Starfield already? Also, let's actually check. Okay, double, and of course, the big pack has a discount.
Like it is a notable difference. I don't think your old Creation Club credits are going to carry over to Starfield, and notably neither the Fallout 4 nor the Skyrim Special Edition EULA mention virtual currencies. The only other Bethesda Game Studios game to ship with something like this was Fallout 76. And honestly, that's one of the most
I told you. What do you think? That a Bethesda game is gonna now launch without a Battle Pass microtransaction? There's also gonna be a Battle Pass. I can guarantee you, there is gonna be a Battle Pass. There's gonna be this, and that. There's gonna be microtransactions up the wazoo. And you're gonna buy them because you're a Bethesda fanboy. And I have some experience with you absolute insane lunatics. You're gonna buy it and you're gonna literally shine Todd Howard's helmet.
Components about all of this to me. Would this entry in the EULA and the ESRB rating suggest that Starfield will be shipping with a system like this, a paid mod system from day one? Or at the very least, it'd be something that would be coming very shortly after release, in the next couple of months perhaps? In the past, Bethesda has always implemented mod support further down the line, typically the spring following release. So for Fallout 4, we got mod support in around May of the following year. But perhaps with Starfield, that timeline was moved up. Maybe with this game, we're going to be seeing both a free and paid mod system coming relatively close to release. As of right now, there isn't much to break down with this. It definitely...
Okay, go with that wishful thinking. 10 out of 10.
It seems like there are multiple different sources to something around paid mods or some kind of transactions in Starfield, but until we actually know what this entails, I'm going to reserve full judgment. But at least for now, this is incredibly interesting, and I'm very curious to see what happens. But if you are somebody who is desperately waiting for Starfield, maybe check your email, as it could be arriving early. Earlier today, a variety of users who did order the Constellation edition of Starfield reported getting order updates that their game was getting ready to ship or had shipped already. It seems like this came from a mix of sources. Some people saying they got these emails from GameStop, some others saying they actually got them from Bethesda International directly, and the reports of these emails were widespread enough that it definitely seems like it's real. The Constellation edition of the game does just come with a game code, so it's likely just to enable you to preload the game. It's not like you'll be able to actually have early access to the game content, although people getting access to the collector's edition a bit early probably will happen, so you could expect to see some impressions of that coming shortly. But Gamescom is also ramping up. We start to see some teaser photos as the setup for Gamescom does begin, and here we're almost certainly going to be learning more about Starfield. For Gamescom 2023, Xbox is actually setting up their largest booth ever, and we have seen an entire Starfield-themed truck on location for the convention. Unfortunately, we have heard that Starfield will not be hands-on at Gamescom 2023, but Xbox does describe building a 300-person theater and is going to be showing something around Starfield there. In the past,
I don't care about a theater that's gonna show pre-rendered gameplay and shit.
Fallout 4, they showed some early gameplay where basically somebody just played the game in the theater and a bunch of people were able to watch. Something similar, whether it be a pre-recorded gameplay, live gameplay, or maybe even just a new trailer, will likely be shown in this theater. So at the very least, later this week, you'll likely be able to hear from fans about their impressions on this gameplay or whatever was shown, assuming they're actually able to talk about it. But even further, on August 22nd, we have Opening Night Live. That's tomorrow, at least as I film this video. It's going to be hosted by Jeff Keighley, and here we're going to be seeing a variety of new game trailers, including one for Phantom Liberty. It seems like this could be a solid candidate for a launch trailer.
Well, we already saw that.
Of Starfield to drop, so definitely keep an eye on that, or just get some.
So that's old news, by the way, at this point. Anyway, that was from Juice Head. This was Quizzer Said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.